everyone, this is Bonnie from Backward Story, and today I have the long overdue YA Buzz Panel. I posted the Adult Buzz Panel last week, and then I just didn't have time to make the YA Buzz Panel, and it's been about a week since BEA now, and so I'm forgetting all of the details about the books. So instead of telling you why I'm so excited about them all, I'm just going to read the back of each book because I don't remember them as clearly as I did when I heard about them last Friday. So the first one is Spinning by Tillie Walden. It is coming from Macmillan and First Second later this year. And here's the summary. And this is a memoir. It's a true story. It's a graphic novel. And I had the opportunity to interview Tillie, so you're going to be hearing a lot more about this book closer to its release. Anyway, the summary says, for 10 years, figure skating was Tillie Walden's life. She woke before dawn for morning lessons, went straight to group practice after school, and spent weekends competing in glitter and tights. It was a central piece of her identity, her safe haven from the stress of school, bullies, and family. But over time, as she switched schools, got into art, and fell in love with her first girlfriend, she began to question how the closed-minded world of figure skating fit in with the rest of her life. And so that is the summary for Spinning. And like I said, I'm super excited about this one. It is a graphic novel. It's a memoir. And Tillie was super, super nice. I love talking to her. I can't wait to share that interview with you. And I can't wait to read this book. So that was the first one that was talked about. The next one is All the Wind in the World by Samantha Mabry. And this one comes out in October by Algonquin. And I had picked up her book, The Fierce and Subtle Poison, last year, but I have not read it yet because I'm a horrible person, and I still have it sitting on my nightstand. So hopefully I'll read both of them this year. The summary for this one. So it says it's perfect for fans of the Raven Cycle and Bone Gap, and it also reminds me a little bit of like things like Aaron Bowman and Ray Carson, and it's a lot of that Wild Wild West type stuff going on right now, Rebel of the Sands, all that stuff. Anyhow, Sarah Jacqueline Crow and James Holt work in the vast fields that span a bone-dry Southwest, a thirsty, infinite land, both seductive and fearsome. In this rough, transient landscape, Sarah, Jack, and James have fallen in love. They're tough and brave, and they have big dreams. Soon, they will have enough money saved to go east. But until then, they keep their heads down, their muscles tensed, and above all, their love secret. When a horrible accident forces Sarah, Jack, and James to start over on a new, possibly cursed ranch called the Real Marvelous, the delicate balance of their lives begins to give way. Soon, James and Sarah Jack will have to pay a frighteningly high price for their love. So that is the summary for that one. The next one is Dear Martin. It is by Nick Stone. It is coming out in October from Crown Random House. And there goes the summary. Learning. All right. Justice McAllister is top of his class and set for the Ivy League. But none of that matters to the police officer who just put him in handcuffs. And despite leaving his rough neighborhood behind, he can't escape the scorn of his former peers or the ridicule of his new classmates. Justice looks to the teachings of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. for answers, but do they hold up anymore? He starts a journal to Dr. King to find out. Then comes the day Justice goes driving with his best friend, Manny. Windows rolled down, music turned up, way up, sparking the fury of a white off-duty cop beside them. Words fly. Shots are fired. Justice and Manny are caught in the crosshairs. In the media fallout, it's Justice who is under attack. Riveted and utterly revealing, Nick Stone boldly tackles American race relations in this stunning debut. And it was blurbed by, where is it? There it is. It was blurbed by Angie Thomas, who wrote, of course, The Hate You Give, which was #1 on the New York Times bestsellers list for so much of this year already. And I had heard about this on Wednesday at the Quiet YA panel when they were talking about books that maybe weren't going to get a lot of attention but would need a lot of help. So this one's going to be a really big deal when it releases. And I was really excited it was one of the finalists and that I got to get a copy of that. Next is a book that I have been so excited for, and the cover is absolutely gorgeous. It's a mask, and it's got all of these creatures inside of it. It is Beasts Made of Night. It is by Tochi Onyebuchi, and I may have pronounced that wrong. I'm sorry. It's coming from Penguin Razorbill on October 31st. And well, we're just going to get a blurb on this one because, again, I just don't remember much right now. My brain is still fried, and I didn't do my work at looking it up, but it is a fantasy. Every time I hear about it, it sounds so exciting. It says, every time it feels like it'll last forever. The sorrow that rakes my skin, the guilt that grips my mind, the cold that pierces my bones. I want to cry out, but my throat is full of sin. The moment stretches out like a piece of rubber being pulled and pulled and pulled until finally it snaps. So I'm really excited. That's not a summary, I know, but I don't have anything next to me with the summary I can pull up on Goodreads, but I know you guys can take care of that. But I would definitely look it up. It's fantasy. It sounds really interesting. It's been on my Goodreads list for a while, ever since I heard the publishing deal, and I'm so excited to read it. The final book is The 57 Bus, which is not a book I would have picked up on my own, so I'm really glad they buzzed about it because now I do really want to read it. It is nonfiction. It is based on a true story. It is by Dashka Slater, and it's coming out in October from Farrar Straus from Macmillan, and it is based on a hate crime. It is based on the way two teenagers had their lives change within moments just by making a bad, reckless decision. And the journalist who covered the incident in the papers was actually tapped to write this book. So they had been writing a picture book at the time with the editor, and together they decided to put it into words and make it into a book. And here is the summary I have for it. If it weren't for the 57 bus, Sasha and Richard never would have met. Both were high school students in Oakland, California, one of the most diverse cities in the country. But they inhabited different worlds. Sasha lived in the middle-class foothills and attended a small private school. Richard lives in the crime-plagued flatlands and attended a large public school. Each day, their paths overlapped for a mere 8 minutes. But one afternoon on the bus ride home, a single reckless act left Sasha severely burned and Richard charged with 2 hate crimes and facing life imprisonment. The case garnered international attention, thrusting both teenagers into the spotlight. But in the 57 bus, author Dashka Slater shows that what might seem like a simple conflict between right and wrong, justice and injustice, victim and criminal, is something more complicated and far more heartbreaking. And the true story was first chronicled in the New York Times. Like I said, it sounds absolutely amazing. It sounds like something that is going to get people talking, and I never would have picked it up on my own, so I'm really glad that it was a buzz book, and I'm excited to read all 5 of these. I went into the panel knowing about 3 of the books, 4 if you count the fact that I had heard about Dear Martin the night before at the Blogbound conference, but they weren't things that I knew about until the panel. So this is everything that you should be super, super extra excited about because these are the 5 books chosen from many to be finalists on the Buzz panel at BEA. So let me know below which titles you're most excited to read, and I'll be reading them with you this fall, and I can't wait to talk to you about them. See you guys soon. Bye.